Estuary News tonight, a man is charged with murder in Scunthorpe. Record-breaking figures for Hull's Ferrens Art Gallery, and walking netball gets underway in Cleethorpes. And later in tonight's programme, I'll be talking to John Manton about SleepEasy. Before that, Anne Winslow on a new year and new you. Hello, good evening. Welcome to Monday's programme with me, Luke Adams, and a new year on Estuary News. First tonight, a man has been charged with the murder of a woman in Scunthorpe. The body of 61-year-old Tamara Sinakova was discovered at an address in Tamar Walk on Friday evening. 36-year-old Rosh Avalani has been charged with her murder. A 34-year-old man, also arrested, has been released under investigation, pending further inquiries. A replica of Amy Johnston's plane could be staying in Hull. The Ministry of Justice have confirmed they are going to consider whether the model could be placed in St Stephen's Shopping Centre. It's due to move to the Yorkshire Air Museum this year after the government said it was too big to keep in the city. Inmates of Hull Prison designed a replica of the Gypsy Moth plane named Jason as part of Hull 2017. Johnston used the plane for her solo flight to Australia in 1930. More than 500,000 people visited Hull's Ferrens Art Gallery last year. It's been hailed as the gallery's most successful year in its 90-year history. 140,000 people visited the gallery in 2014 before it closed in September 2015 for a £5 million refurbishment. The venue will be hosting its annual open exhibition in February, where amateur and professional artists will showcase their work in a variety of media. Grimsby Cycle Hub's offering residents the chance to exchange their old bike lock for a new one. Lock Swap is an event from the hub, along with North East Lincolnshire Council and NG. It's to encourage residents to think more about their bike security and to tackle thieves in the area. Janine Walker, Managing Director of the hub, says it's vital to keep bikes secure.
Lock Swap is encouraging people to make sure their bikes are really secure. Bike theft in Grimsby is rife. So you really do need a good quality lock to protect your bike. It's very easy to do. You just bring your old lock. It may be a cheap cable lock that I've seen bolt croppers go through like butter. Come and swap that with a tenner and you get a top 10 out of 10 security standard, gold standard sold secure D-lock. The security of your bike, I mean, especially if it's your main form of transport, you can't put a price on having your transport available. If you lock it up somewhere, going back and finding it still there is, you know, what you would expect. However, we know in Grimsby that bikes do get stolen all the time, even if they've got a lock on them. If it's a cheap lock, thieves can break into them so easily. We've seen it done. So swapping a cheap lock or a lock that isn't quite up to standard for a top quality gold standard lock is really important.
Rail passengers face travel chaos today due to strike action. It's due to an ongoing dispute over driver-only trains. Northern Rail has run a reduced service today, operating 60% of its normal weekday timetable. Further strike action is taking place on Wednesday and Friday. There's plans to build over 50 million trees in the north of England. The £5 million government scheme will see a northern forest created on land between Hull and Liverpool over the next 25 years. It's to boost habitat for wildlife, including birds and bats, and protect the red squirrel along a 120-mile stretch of the M62 corridor. The project will be managed by the Woodland Trust and Community Forest Trust. A new walking netball group is aiming to help people get fit in the new year. Run by Links Inspire, these sessions at Cleethorpes Leisure Centre are designed for people over 50 who are new to exercise. They'll help increase activity levels and confidence in local people.
How much of a good idea do you think it is that they set one up here as well as the one in Grimsby?
Oh, definitely, because there was a lot of people that came to the taster last year in Cleethorpes who can't get to the Grimsby Leisure Centre because they haven't got transport, and it's such a long journey on a bus. It's just not worth trying to make that travel. So yes, definitely worthwhile making it happen in Cleethorpes as well as Grimsby, and I will definitely do both. I've met a lovely bunch of ladies who I look forward to seeing every week, and benefits of exercise at the same time.
It's brilliant. I mean, speaking to them, they've all previously done it at school, but not for a long time, so they're kind of like getting into grips with it again. But seeing how well they're doing today, like, I can't shoot like that, like, really, really good. So yeah, it was brilliant to see them getting active and interacting with each other as well. They all know the names already, and yeah, they're really doing really well. It's nice to see them get back into it again. Once they come, it's kind of like that fear factor of come in, but once they come, they realise how easy and chilled it is, and they can do what they want and at their own pace, and then they start to realise it's not so bad, they can come back.
What would you say to those people who really want to do it but they're not sure where to go?
Come along to walk-in netball. We will make you welcome, and everybody's in the same position. We're all older, we've all got aches and pains, and we do it at our own pace. And if we need to sit out for 5 minutes, we do, and then get back on the court. It's a really beneficial way of meeting people and keeping fit.
I'm joined now by Anne Winslow to give us some hints and tips on how to cope with the excesses of Christmas and start the new year afresh. Good evening and welcome to the programme. Thank you very much for coming in. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. It's great to be here.
Thank you very much. Now, how can we cope with the post-Christmas blues?
Well, first of all, I think you've got to be kind to yourself, because, you know, the rules for Christmas and New Year are absolute extremes. Christmas, it's, you know, it's okay to eat, drink, party, spend, and then all of a sudden you wake up on New Year's Day and the rules are everything stops, and it's such a shock and it's so harsh to your system. So I think it's about just being gentle with yourself. Luckily, we've got through the first week, which is brilliant. So this is now where you can start and think about moving forward in the new year, really.
Second week of the year.
Yeah.
Is this a good time when people would have made New Year's resolutions perhaps and goals for the year ahead?
New Year's resolutions, if they work for you, it's good, but for some people, myself as well, I think it's too extreme too soon.
Okay.
I think it's about goal setting and just working towards it. You know, as we're getting into January now, starting to think what you want for the rest of the year. Whereas, you know, 1st of January, all of a sudden, you're still sort of, you know, just recovering. Well, you're not even recovered from the Christmas season, really.
And it's a massive leap back down to reality, isn't it? And
Yeah.
you know, you're back into work, and it is good to get back into normal routine.
Yeah.
But December's at a time of a lot of hype and
Yeah.
social activity, and as I
Yeah.
said at the top of the interview there, a lot of excesses happen over Christmas and New Year, of course, as well.
Yeah.
What would be your New Year's resolution?
I wouldn't do New Year's resolutions, I'd go for goals. But
Okay.
I think it's all about just keep self-development moving forward, just moving forward. So like just making the small steps gradually, slowly, over time, you're sort of improving and developing, really. So I've tried over Christmas now not to go to the extremes, so it's not all or nothing, so that I fit in an odd day between Christmas and New Year, minimalistic eating, just to try and pull it back a bit, because we're all dragged into excess eating, and you do feel better without it. But you don't want to do deprivation, you want to enjoy it. So I've tried over time just gradually modifying Christmas, and then it's not so extreme then in the new year.
And cutting down on alcohol can have a significant impact on your overall health and well-being as well in January, can't it?
Yeah, a lot of people do the dry January, and if that works, it's a good thing to do. If it doesn't work for you, if you're not a big drinker, then there's not really that need. But a lot of people find that really, a positive thing to do.
And there's lots of other ways you can enjoy social time without necessarily having a
drink.
drink.
I think it breaks the habit. Yeah. Because I think there is a huge habit with drinking alcohol. It's just, I'm out, so I'll drink. And so it's just making that change. And I find if you drink water in a wine glass, that makes all the difference, because it's the holding the glass.
Often it's psychological, isn't it? And 20th of January, you're holding a visual work board.
Vision board workshop.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Vision board workshop is in the self-development field. It's known that creating vision boards are a really good way for empowering your goals and attracting, by the law of attraction, things to you. So it's going to be an afternoon where you're going to get provided with everything you need, the cardboard, there'll be lots of magazines and scissors and glue, and you create your own vision board. You put on it pictures and words of things you want to attract, and then you put it up somewhere and you look at it every day and you envision yourself having those things, and it's a really fun way of sort of empowering your goals.
Okay, and that's been held at the Hive.
The Business Hive, in Grimsby.
20th of January. What are the times for that?
1:30 till 5.
Okay, and how many places are on this actual event?
There's enough for 10 people. There'll be enough space for 10 people.
Okay. So if people want to find out more, how can they find out about it?
Probably a good way to find me would be on Facebook. Anne with an E Winslow, and the journey as well. On Facebook.
Okay. Now, meditation, that's important.
Yes.
You advocate 5 to 10 minutes a day.
Yeah.
Why is it so important to meditate?
For one thing, it just calms all your body and your mind, and it just slows everything down, and it just makes, over time, it teaches your body to be able to relax quicker. It also connects you to that place where your intuition is heightened as well, so you can get inspirational ideas. A lot of the top business people are using it these days. It's not just sort of the hippie people as it used to be. It's becoming really known, the health benefits, but it just feels good as well. And it's very simple to do.
Good for mind, body and soul.
Yeah.
Now, in the notes here, Anne, you also mentioned about visualisation and gratitude.
Yeah.
How does that link into helping with the mind, body and soul?
So the mind doesn't know the difference between real and imagined. So if you start and think to yourself, what's the best that can happen every morning, and just run through your day visualising it how you'd want it to be, in that moment it makes you feel calmer, it makes you feel more positive the day, but actually it helps to empower it and bring it to you, and it's a really, really lovely way to start your day, because we're really, really clever with our mind at thinking what's the worst that happen, and it's training our mind to think what's the best that can happen. Yeah.
With a more positive outlook.
Yeah.
Great hints and tips there, and thank you very much for coming this Monday evening. Happy New Year, all the best for 2018.
And the same to you.
Thank you, Anne. Join me after the break when Jack brings us a roundup of all the latest sports news, and I'll be talking to John Manton about sleeping rough in Grimsby. Welcome back, you're watching Estuary News. Still to come this Monday evening, Jack brings us a roundup of all the latest sporting action, and I'll be talking to John Manton on sleeping rough in Grimsby. A railway footbridge in Bridlington is undergoing extensive repair work. From today, the footbridge between Georgian Way and Bessingby Industrial Estate will be replaced with a new one. It comes after East Riding Council carried out a routine inspection in December and found significant signs of wear and tear. The new bridge will be operational by 2018. There could be a new visitor attraction at the Humber Bridge. East Riding Council originally refused the plans, but are looking at revised ideas, which include a glass lift to take visitors to the top of the bridge. The Humber Bridge Board will announce further plans in due course. The Flamborough Fire Festival has been held as the best yet. Taking part on New Year's Eve, it raised over £8,000 and attracted 5,000 visitors to the town. A portion of the money will be invested into this year's event. Now in its third year, it involves a Viking-themed parade and a fireworks display at midnight. North East Lincolnshire Council is removing service charges for credit card payments this week. It's in line with new government legislation. It means people will no longer get credit card surcharges when paying for council services. The changes come into effect on Wednesday. YMCA Humber is gearing up for its annual SleepEasy event and is calling on local people to get involved. I am joined now by John Manton, Contracts Manager at the charity, to tell me more. Good evening, John. Welcome to the programme. Thank you very much indeed for coming in. Happy New Year, first of all.
Well, thank you.
Why was the SleepEasy event set up initially? It was back in 2010, I believe, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think homelessness has been a growing problem for quite a number of years, and YMCA's nationally felt that there was an opportunity to run a campaign to raise funds to provide services that can help those people that are the most vulnerable people in our community, some of them whom rough sleep.
Okay. How popular has this event become in that time span?
It's a very popular event across the whole of the country, but we've been particularly successful in North East Lincolnshire over the 7 years that we've been running the project so far. We've raised over £125,000 in those years, and we've had hundreds, literally hundreds of people that have taken part along the way.
And a couple of years ago, one of our reporters, Dave Nunn, actually took part in the event and said it was a great success and he really enjoyed being part of it. It does have some benefits, doesn't it? It makes people aware of the issue of homelessness.
Absolutely, yes.
Is it a significant problem in the country?
Yeah, homelessness is a growing problem in the country. Nationally, we've had almost 4,500 people rough sleeping in 2017, and that figure's over doubled since 2010. At a regional level, at the Humber level, there's 2,000 homeless people each night. The majority of those aren't rough sleepers. The majority of those people are living in hostels or bed and breakfast, living in squats or sofa surfing. But there's only a small number that actually rough sleep. But tonight in Cleethorpes there will be, in Grimsby and Cleethorpes there will be between 40 and 55 people rough sleeping.
Is that quite a high number for this area?
It's a reasonably high number for this area, and as I say, it's a growing number as well. But there are agencies like ourselves, Salvation Army and particularly Harbour Place, who do great work to support some of these people.
And across on the North Bank, of course, there's organisations like Hull Homeless Community Project, which is a fairly new organisation, but they're helping people across there and help getting the message out there that homelessness is a really big problem.
Quite right. There's quite a number of agencies over in Hull that support this group of people.
Okay. Now, John, the event's on the 2nd of February, is that correct?
That's correct.
Why particularly this time of the year for this event to take place?
Well, 2nd of February, I mean, different YMCAs do SleepEasy at different times. But we in YMCA Humber have chosen to do it this time of the year because it's the coldest time of year. It's generally regarded as the coldest week of the year, the last week in January. So we do it when the weather, in theory, should be at its worst.
Because it's very cold and bitterly cold out there.
Absolutely.
It's very cold winter's night. Now, as you said a couple of minutes ago, John, £125,000 has been raised roughly since this campaign was set up in 2010. How is that money actually used within the charity at a local level? Well,
at a local level, it has been used to support a number of different charities. So, obviously, we've got the services at Harbour Place. Over the years, we've also supported Christian Aid Resource Enterprise, and this year we've got both Harbour Place and the Salvation Army in Grimsby, who will be fundraising alongside us and sleeping alongside us on the night to support the work for their services. So from a YMCA perspective this year, we will be raising funds. People can choose where they want the funds to go, so it could be for a simple hygiene pack, it could be to have for a homeless pack, to help a rough sleeper out. It could be to provide immediate support for somebody who comes into our service, to provide counselling, or it could be for something a bit more aspirational, to provide somebody with life skills, or even to raise money for a minibus that we're looking to raise funds for at the moment.
Fantastic. So worthwhile things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Will come from this event.
Yes.
What items would be classed in the homeless pack?
So the very basic items, this is for somebody that's walking the street, so we don't want large cumbersome things. So it's the sort of things that they could put in a rucksack. So there'll be a bag potentially with things to do with personal hygiene, a pair of gloves, a scarf, that type of thing. Things that somebody who's rough on the street, maybe something, a snack bar to eat or some warm drink or something.
And like you say, a scarf would be very beneficial at this time of the year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you got many people signed up for this event so far, John?
We've currently got signed over 30, but we know there's a number of people who haven't signed up yet that are going to be signed up. So we're expecting probably 70 plus over the two sites in Hull and Grimsby this time around.
Okay, how can people sign up if they want to get involved?
So if people want to get involved or would like more information, they can either get in touch with myself or Leanne at the YMCA, or if you want to register or donate, you can go straight to the website, which is www.sleep-easy.co.uk.
Okay. And this event is open to anyone across all ages, backgrounds. There's no specific demographic.
So it's specifically for people 18 plus.
Okay.
But if people want to bring younger people, we've had people bringing children in the past. We've had scout groups in the past, and provided they are properly supervised, it would be down to the site manager's discretion whether those people could be involved. But wherever possible, we will cater for all people.
And it is always a good turnout, isn't it? It is always a good event.
It's a fabulous turnout. We always get a good turnout. We always get some really nice people. And everybody, there's a real buzz around the place when everybody gets in and gets the shelters up.
And when people walk away from this event, do they actually realise, the magnitude of the problem of homelessness?
I think the whole idea of this is it's about raising awareness as well as raising valuable funds. But it's an interesting one, isn't it? People sleep rough. I know from my own experience from sleeping rough the last few years is that I don't sleep very well. Even when I get in my cardboard box, I don't sleep very well. But I guess where it really comes into perspective is when at 6 a.m. in the morning and we're all clearing up and going home to a nice centrally heated house and a warm bed. If I was really homeless, I would then be walking the streets in the cold and then starting again the same process the night after.
Thank you very much, Steve. We must leave it there.
Thank you.
Now here's Jack with all the sport.
In football, Hull City booked their place in tonight's FA Cup fourth round draw as they won 1-0 at Blackburn Rovers on Saturday. Fullback Ola Aina headed in John Terrell's corner shortly before the hour mark as the Tigers overcame their League One opponents. The result means that City keep up their impressive third round record. They progressed from that stage in 6 of the last 7 seasons. Hull City are ball number 21 in this evening's fourth round draw. They could potentially be paired with the likes of Manchester United, Liverpool or Manchester City. I'll bring you exactly who they play in tomorrow's sport. Meanwhile, there was no game for Scunthorpe United over the weekend due to the FA Cup fixtures taking place. The Iron are back in League One action on Saturday when they travel to face Portsmouth at Fratton Park. Meanwhile, in League Two, the pressure is piling on manager Russell Slade, as the Mariners lost 2-0 at home to Morecambe. First half goals from Kevin Ellison and Stephen Auld condemned Town to a third straight league defeat and their fourth in their last 5 games. Grimsby are now 9 points off the playoff places, but despite the poor recent run of results, they are still 13 points above the relegation zone. In January transfer news, Grimsby have announced the signing of Derby County striker Charles Vernham on a loan deal until the end of the season. The 21-year-old was briefly a youth player at Scunthorpe United before going through Derby's academy system. He enjoyed a loan spell in Iceland where he scored once in 11 appearances for IBV. He'll be reunited with Russell Slade, who signed him on loan when he was the manager of Coventry City. Our local rugby union sides were back in action over the weekend for the first time this year. In Yorkshire Division 1, Beverley beat Old Rishworthians 31-25 at Beaver Park. That result ensures the Beavers sit comfortably in 4th place in the table. It wasn't such a good weekend for Hallensians though. They lost 43-15 away to 3rd place Heath. The Ensians lie in 10th place with exactly half the number of points as their last opponents. That's all for the sport. Back to Luke in the studio.
Thanks very much, Jack. That's it for tonight. Thank you for joining us this Monday evening. As always, if you have a news story, then please visit our Facebook or Twitter pages or email news@estuary.tv, phone our news desk on Grimsby 31553 or write to us at the usual address. Have a great Monday evening. Until tomorrow, from all of us here, good night.